All right, the watch list video for Monday, May 16th. Quick look at the SPY. You know what? If you're a day trader at all, you guys know how heavy, excuse me, how heavy the market feels. I mean, it is just a lot of intraday sell-offs and a lot of weak stocks out there. So be careful out there on the long side. Having said that, it has bounced pretty nicely several days in the past month or so, right slightly below this 204 area. So we'll keep that area in mind. But with that said, let's go into the watch list. Weight Watchers, I'm not in love with this one, but it's held this 12 area, and you had a nice pop. Let's see, that would have been Thursday and then Friday. So if we go to 15-minute candles here, it does look interesting over this 2-day high. Had earnings back here. So let's see, Friday's high was 1345. You know, maybe it has to get through the half, 1350, but I like it over Friday's high. You might get a pop. Weight Watchers can get some decent moves at times. So we'll keep our eyes on WTW. SYNC, nice green candle, back to the bottom of a range and found some buyers, especially, you know, in a weak tape like we just showed you the SPY. So, excuse me, so this one held up pretty well. I'm going to watch for a continuation of that bounce on Monday. That company had big news with AT&T, so that one's interesting to me. Wayfair W, I think there's a lot of shorts in this one. I haven't checked, but I know there was one of those groups that likes to attack stocks and tell people it's a short and it's going to zero. They've been all over this Wayfair, and they haven't really been able to knock it down, and W had a really nice pop. I guess that would have been, I think, Monday, and it's held up pretty well in a weak market and looks to be curving back up, so over 38.75. This might get a nice move. It really runs at times, so keep your eyes on that. I'm going to put in my notes right now. 38.76. It's not a number to live and die by, but it's nice to have kind of a reference point that knowing on Monday that that'll be a break of Friday's high. Shake Shack, very strong. Gapped up on earnings, sold off throughout the day, but great relative strength in the afternoon. I mean, look at, as the SPY was selling, look at this thing just climbing. So I don't have any kind of trigger price, just going to watch for a second day, like a follow-through day. So we'll keep that one on a chart. That's SHAK. I have a few solars on watch, believe it or not, on the long side, but we'll see. Solar City, you know, it held this support back here on the gap down day on earnings, and then, you know, put in a high, lower high, lower high. It's kind of coiling, 15-minute candles here. This certainly looks good over 20, so we'll keep our eyes on Solar City. Pretty beaten up solar there. Another one, CSIQ, had earnings on Wednesday. And if we switch to 15-minute candles, you can see the earnings pop. We actually had a nice trade in this one. I think right about there was our entry and rode it up. It had a really nice trade before giving it back. But then, so it put in its high in the opening 30 minutes on the earnings day. Then the very next day, put in its high, you know, within the opening 15 minutes. And pretty much the same deal on Friday. But now you kind of have a higher low as well. So I'm watching this one for a potential bounce back higher with earnings behind it. On Monday. So that's CSIQ. And one more solar, believe it or not, SEDG. There's nothing pretty here, but nothing but red candles and big volume on this day. And now it, after a few days, took out this day's low, found some buyers. So if the market bounces and the solars bounce, this is looking for just a snapback bounce here. That one might go too. So if the solars do run, keep your eyes. This could be a good secondary play. SEDG, pretty beaten up. CCXI, I like this one more than most, I think. You had the gap up, sold off, then it ripped on Wednesday. Now you've got Thursday and Friday, a couple red days. Looks pretty good for a turn back higher with that over 20 million shares traded on Wednesday. And let's switch to 15s here. And you're kind of flagging. So if we get back up like through 4, I think this one might rip again. And that's, again, not a number that I'm going to live and die by, but that's kind of an interesting area. It may give a better trigger than that. And then lastly, small list today, KORS, purse maker just decimated here. Found some buyers in the afternoon. I don't have any kind of trigger price. Whenever I'm watching a bounce play stock, there's a few things I look for. One, I would love if it gapped down. That might give actually a great long setup that we teach. My least favorite thing for them, if you're looking for a potential long, would be a gap up. So. But there's a few things we look for, so we'll see if KORS can meet any of those. Not in love with it, but keep an eye on the overall market as well. On Monday, in the pre-market, we'll work together in the chat room to spot some gap plays and hopefully catch some nice trades out of those as well. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.